Yo, this is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And our sponsors at Alpha Claims and Hire Birmingham, the leading and best accident management company. Get a replacement car anywhere in 1 hour. Thank you to everyone that's watched our coverage on the London street news. I'll be catching up on London street news over the next couple of days. And I've got some stories about firearms and in relation to trusting people with your guns. You often see it referred to in music about leaving guns with females, etc., etc. And this story is an example of what can go wrong in them situations. On September the 12th, Bekki Dean and Bradley Clancy have been found guilty of possession of a firearm with intent to endanger life. They will be sentenced next month on the 29th of October, and both defendants were arrested following a proactive operation tackling gun crime in London. Shortly before 9 o'clock on the 14th of August 2019, specialist firearm officers and officers from the Metropolitan Specialist Crime Command stopped a black Volkswagen Polo on Peterborough Road in Carshalton. The vehicle was being driven by Bekki Dean. She was removed from the car in order for the officers to conduct a search. At the time she was stopped, Bekki was on the phone to someone listed in her contacts as Bradley. She was asked if there was anything in the car she should tell officers about before they carried out the search, to which she said there was a gun in a Louis Vuitton bag. The brown bag was on the front passenger seat, and within that was a smaller black bag that had a pistol and a magazine containing multiple rounds of ammunition. The firearm and ammunition were later subjected to forensic analysis by a firearm expert, and it was found to be a Glock Model 19 9mm Parabellum caliber self-loading pistol with a cartridge magazine that, from the looks of it, seems full. Dean was arrested for possession of the firearm with intent to endanger life. She made no comment and was taken to a South London police station. During her interview, she made a prepared statement. This is the part of the story that I find very interesting, because people often leave firearms with people that they say they trust, but would that person be willing to serve potentially 10 years in prison for you? That's a totally different question. She written a prepared statement to the police in the interview that she was under duress to transport the gun by a man she was completely intimidated and in fear of. She made no reply to other questions and did not provide details of who the person was. She was asked who Bradley was and whether he had anything to do with the firearm at the time, but she did not provide any details. She was charged with the offence she was arrested for. Once Bekki was charged and remanded, specialist crime officers were investigating who she was meeting to deliver the gun to and sent the firearm for forensic testing. Her phone was subject to an interrogation, and in it they found images that were saved of a driving licence that belonged to Bradley Clancy. Inquiries showed that Clancy was in contact with Dean on the night of the arrest on the 14th of August. Further analysis revealed that Dean and Clancy had texted and called each other 5 times between 5 o'clock in the afternoon and 9 o'clock at night. She was on the phone to him at the time of the arrest also, and it was revealed that Clancy's phone was located a short distance from where Bekki was actually stopped, so they think that he may have watched the actual stop take place. They arrested Bradley Clancy on the 17th of October last year in connection with the investigation and took a swab of his DNA before he was released under investigation. The swab of DNA evidence was compared with DNA found on the muzzle of the Glock gun, and the two matched, proving that Bradley had been in previous contact with the gun that Dean was transporting. Bradley was again arrested and charged with conspiracy to possess a firearm with intent to endanger life or enabling another to do so. The detective in charge of the case, Andy Snazzle, said the removal of the gun from the streets of London and the subsequent investigation has resulted in 3 convictions. The expert forensic team from the Metropolitan Police put the final piece of evidence they needed to link Clancy to his crime and help secure the conviction for him and Bekki Dean. Our forensic officers often work quietly behind the scenes, helping officers link criminals to the actions and providing the evidence they need to imprison them, without actually having to deal with the case. Clancy may never have been arrested if it wasn't for this. So this was a clear example of how her statement, she was trying to not incriminate him at the same time, but it was because of that that she ended up making the investigation escalate to the point they forensically wanted to find out who she was dropping that to. So it shows you that even though you can trust somebody initially with something like that, when it comes down to an actual court case, are they going to take them charges? And most of the time, from the cases I've covered, this definitely isn't the case. And in a recent stop and search in London on September the 10th, on Thursday, a vehicle was stopped in Kilburn Lane, West London, by officers of the West Violence Suppression Unit with specialist firearm officers on the scene. During the stop, a firearm was found in the vehicle and 4 men have been taken into custody, aged 23, 25, 26 and also another 26-year-old. They were arrested on suspicion of firearm offences and remain in custody at the time. It looks like a very small caliber handgun, and it just goes to show the regular confiscation of firearms on the streets of London every single day, really, and the incredible risk that you take when you walk around with these guns. So I really want to hear what people have to say on this. I hope these people sort their life out when they get out of prison and stay away from firearms. Please leave a comment below and let us know any stories you think are important to cover in the news this week. I'll be back again very shortly with some more news. Peace.